What's up? What's up? Adel here with Traders Brawl in collaboration with Web3 TV. We're at day 2 of the Global Blockchain Congress, GBC by Agora. We have a new guest with us today, Jad Chahine from Superscrypt. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. How are you doing?
No, thank you so much. I'm great. Thank you for being on the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're aiming to achieve at this event.
Yes. So I'm an entrepreneur turned VC. I've been building and scaling technology businesses for the last 15 years and recently helped found Superscrypt as a founding member. And we are an early stage Web3 investment fund. And I help manage the companies, the portfolios. I'm also part of the investment committee. Yeah, specifically here, the attendees of Agora seem to be of very high quality. So I'm traveling from Boston. Right, I wouldn't want to travel from Boston to Dubai if it wasn't going to be a good conference. And fortunately, the Agora team brought the right people, has people like yourself here.
Thank you.
It's just been a really wonderful opportunity to network from people within the Middle East and abroad. I'd say probably half the people here are from Dubai, which is great to get to know the ecosystem, but they also did bring people from all around the world as well. I met somebody who was from New Zealand, now living in Europe. Right. So there's a lot of really interesting people, both as investors, whether it's a VC or family offices, to startups, Web3 startups here.
And I couldn't agree more. I think it's such a melting pot. Dubai has become such a melting pot over the decades that people are flocking here, both for the crypto friendliness, the weather, and so you see a multitude of diverse people. But also, you're right about Agora's the attendees here. It's really glad that not just you that traveled here, many others came for just this event. So going forward now, what are your plans? Are you thinking about moving into Dubai? What are your thoughts on Dubai in general?
So I think you can't ignore Dubai. It's definitely, as you mentioned, it's becoming more and more of a hub, and events like this showcase that. So we as a fund have to figure out how we can more closely participate here. For us, this is step one, right? So we're definitely going to be back. We're definitely going to try to figure out how we can partner closely. We're already close with many of the VCs in the area, but having a presence here is something we just need to think about, how we can make that become a reality.
Fantastic. And going back to Superscrypt, you mentioned it's an investment fund and you're investing in the Web3 space. Is it only in Web3 or are you diversified across other non-Web3 assets too?
So we really want to bring blockchain to the masses. We believe very much that blockchain can power a lot of our daily lives, right? From an identity perspective, ownership perspective, real world assets, so every interaction that we do, I think could have a blockchain element to it. There's no reason why our credentials, your university degree, your employment history, there's no reason why that can't be in your control on chain, your health records, for example, banking information. And those are just some of the use cases that blockchain can bring to the masses.
I couldn't agree more. I think everything is being tokenized. But one of the scariest things that I do keep in the back of my head is with everything being tokenized, everything will require custodianship. Now, if those custodianships are not very managed very well and they're centralized, and centralizing is not necessarily a bad thing, but if it's mismanaged, all of that tokenized efforts, goes to almost to waste, or it goes against you. And that can be quite scary. And I wonder, what are your thoughts on that? Because you're an investment fund, you must have custodianship services as well. Is that correct? How do you navigate ensuring custodianship, another FTX doesn't happen?
So first of all, you have to do your due diligence, right? You have to make sure that the companies you're interacting with are legitimate. When it comes, we believe in decentralization, right? Decentralization helps things be immutable, helps things be trustless, but in a way that you can verify that information. So it's something that we heavily believe in, but we understand that it's a step-by-step process. So as we move towards a decentralized world, you just have to make sure, again, to do the right due diligence. And there's a lot of different ways that you can hedge against any particular risk. Multi-sig wallets, making sure that you have multiple people that would approve certain transactions. So you want to make sure that your keys are stored in a safe way. So that way it prevents or helps prevent any type of malicious activity.
Well, we're very well said. We're going to wrap up, and going into 2024 as an investment fund owner, do you see us already in a bull run? Do you see us entering a bull run? What are your price predictions for Bitcoin?
So I think Bitcoin, I'm going to separate Bitcoin and blockchain.
Okay.
First of all, I think we're seeing a lot of momentum for Bitcoin for a couple of reasons. One is obviously the ETFs, but when you think of anything, any stock, any whatever, it needs liquidity, right? Once you bring liquidity and people want to engage with that asset, that drives price up. Right, so by bringing institutional or traditional money, let's call it just the traditional equities world, into crypto, like obviously it's going to go up. I mean, there's an estimate. I don't know if this is a fact, so don't quote me on it. Please research it. But there's an estimate that $10 to $12 billion a year are going to be generated just from ETF fees, from Bitcoin. So that's a big number. Right, so not only are more people let's say, institutional money gonna get into Bitcoin, but it's also gonna be just good for the environment overall. So, and now, and this is something that we talked about on stage. Right now, typically, the market follows Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes up, everything else goes up. Bitcoin goes down, everything else goes down. What I'm excited for in 2024 is a world in which blockchain use cases and tokens aren't married to Bitcoin. But they are able to accrue value themselves by their tokenomics models that you can actually underwrite them. And then they just operate as almost a separate business or entity themselves. Again, there'll always be some correlation, but they won't be directly tied to what Bitcoin is doing. And so for me, that's what's exciting for 2024.
Very good. And final, I won't let you go until you give me a price prediction for Bitcoin. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
I mean, this is what I'll tell you. I don't sell Bitcoin. Okay. Okay. So, I think it's gonna, over time, it's only going to go up. I believe very strongly about that. And I think that it's important to have as many Bitcoin as you can.
Great answer. And we're going to just wrap up real quick. If people the audience who are watching, who are interested in finding more information about Superscrypt, what's the best way they can reach out to you or find out more information about it?
Yeah, so our website, Superscrypt, so crypt is with a Y instead of an I. Okay. So super, SCRYPT.xyz. And then you can also find us on Twitter.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jad, for your time. Very insightful, and I wish you the best with Superscrypt.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for watching. This is Adel with Traders Brawl and Web3 TV, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.